Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what it do. One time for the fan. We are back talking Falcons football. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, pop-up show on your ass. You didn't think that was going to happen. You're probably waiting for the Wednesday night show, but we're back here on this Tuesday evening talking Falcons football. Big shout out to Carrie. Big shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to T-Will. And a big shout out to those Atlanta Falcons. Those Atlanta Falcons.
They did it. They did it.
It's not a shock the world moment, but they did it. They did the damn thing.
They did the damn thing, Jack. Yes, they did. 58 yards, Jack.
58 yards. We're going to play the kick here in a minute. I'm sure they can hear you inside the stadium and outside the stadium, Falcon fans, when you're yelling "coup." Because I'm telling you, man, when he lines up, I try to tell fans he's kicking the ball. Like, wait till he kicks the ball first. But I guess he must like when everybody's yelling "coup" because he's kicking 58 yards out there, Terry.
Yards, man. From way downtown.
Career kicks right here for coup, man.
Way downtown. Yes, indeed.
Come on, man.
Yes, indeedy.
Terry, let's talk about it, man. Falcon fans in the chat, how are y'all feeling about this big win over the Aints at the Benz? First home win of the season for the Atlanta Falcons. We could have got one last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, but the referees robbed us. So this week, Falcons must have paid the referees well. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, the referees did miss some calls down late in the stretch of the game, but Falcon fans feel good about where you're at. Terry, we talked about this. The first 4 games of the season, how you'll feel if you're 4-0, if you're 3-1, if you're 2-2, if you're 1-3, if you're 0-4. We sit at 2-2. But we play for the division on Thursday, Terry. It's going down in a major way. Before we do talk about Falcons football, how are you doing, Terry?
I'm doing all right, man. What a game. First and foremost, it was definitely exhilarating. It was a barn burner. It came down to the last second, and it did not disappoint, man. And I tell you what, I'm biting off my nails as I'm watching Koo get ready to make that kick. Like, oh, God, I wonder if we could have did this, if we could have did that. Oh, we only could have had 5 more yards. And you know what? He didn't need it because he nailed it from 58. He probably could have hit it from 62. You know what I mean? Like, he had at least 3 or 4 yards that he cleared it by. It's not like he kicked it and it doinked and bounced.
That is true. That is true. It did not look like it was falling short. He did look like he had enough room to get about 61, 62 on the kick, which his career long was 54 before that, right, Terry?
It was correct. Okay. He's got a new one now.
Shit.
He's got a new one now. So, and you know what? It was to the hated Saints. Oh, Jack, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about
fans, let's talk about it, man. How are y'all feeling? Chat is live. Chat is lit. Let's get to the chat, Terry, so we can catch up a little bit.
Let's do it.
And then we'll go ahead and talk about these Falcons beating the Aints. Dwayne Ruff in the chat. One time for the one time. What's up, fellas?
What up, D?
DJ's in the chat. What's good, fellas?
What up, DJ?
DJ with the weed at.
Weed at, Poodats.
It seems like we are weed at. Big shout out to the Falcon fans that held it down at the Benz on Sunday, too. Y'all were lit. Lit.
Yeah.
Hell, we even gonna talk about what Kirk Cousins said later on here tonight about the swag surf. He was surprised to see how this swag surf thing works out. Works out well here in Atlanta, Kirk. Kirk Frost. Okay. Terry. Kirk Frost. Kirk Frost, Terry. There it is.
Did I get it? Oh, it looks good tonight, man. Hold up. It looks good. Yeah,
AJ's in the chat. Rise up, fellas. Big Dub Tuesday. Victory Monday. Big Dub Tuesday. It continues on throughout the week, Falcon fan.
Love it. What up, Adrian?
Cass T is in the chat. Big shout out to Cass T. Rudy's in the chat. King Koo. King Koo now, Terry?
Hey, man. Hey. I'm not going to argue.
I was hoping for the Saints to bring the King Cake. But apparently they didn't.
We brought the King Koo instead. How about that?
Well, you there, Terry? I think we're a little choppy. You there?
I'm here. I'm hearing the choppiness as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're good. I think StreamYard is StreamYarding again. Falcon fans is not us. It's StreamYard.
StreamYard is doing its thing, man. It's all good.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thomas Scott, Rise Up Tour fan club in the chat. Big shout out to Thomas Scott.
Didn't he have a
DJs in the
birth?
chat. He said that's
Didn't he have a birthday recently? Did he
Thomas
time
Scott.
that really recently, or am I tripping?
He had a, I believe he's a Leo. Yeah, he's a, what was it, like a month ago? I think so.
I'm tripping. Okay, I'm tripping. Never mind.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, we partied hard for Scott birthday, man. Big shout out to Thomas Scott, Rise Up Tour fan club. Falcon fans going on the road this. We got a lot going on, so make sure you guys are ready for some of these away games, because we just came back from Philly recently. Then we got Carolina coming up, so we got a nice bus trip for Falcon fans that want to head up there. I'll post that information shortly, and of course we have a tailgate in Carolina too as well. Karina Atkins is in the chat with the hey, one time for the fan. Hashtag rise up. Thomas Scott said, we have a big announcement coming. Yeah, y'all. Falcon fans, Rise Up Tour fan club. We have a big announcement on the way. I'm going to keep mentioning this throughout the week, but I'm going to talk to Thomas to make sure that when Thomas posts this announcement, we'll be live too as well. But for Falcon fans heading to Louisiana, heading down to New Orleans in November, please just be ready, because it's going down in a major way. Terry, Falcons come away with a big win over the New Orleans Saints on Sunday at the Benz. I think the Benz is now a hostile environment, Terry. Did you see the fan base on Sunday?
They got after it, man.
They got after it, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about when it comes to these Falcon fans and what they can do, at home, when you get to your seats on time, when you make noise on first, second, and third down. What I saw in the Benz on Sunday was magical. To see all these Falcon fans back and forth with the Saints fans, you heard them too as well. I mean, they showed up in numbers too as well. But the Falcon fans clearly outnumbered the Saints. The Falcon fans were deep in there against the Steelers. Terry, is the Benz becoming a hostile environment to play in?
It would seem like it to me.
The swag surf was one thing that Kirk Cousins mentioned, that when everybody was on their feet in the third down, they're doing the swag surfing. The whole entire stadium, Terry, even the Saints fans were doing the damn swag surf. They had no choice. I turned around to the fan behind me. I said, bro, just be a fan. At this point, just be a fan.
Y'all gonna lose anyway. Just be a fan.
Y'all gonna lose anyway.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. And it's okay, Saints fan, because guess what? You're gonna lose again in a couple of weeks. Not gonna change.
Terry, Falcons come away with a big win over the Saints. We do know Koo did make the 58-yarder career-long kick in the Benz to win the game. But how did the Falcons beat the Saints? Let's go over that, because a lot of people are, still going back and thinking about it, saying, oh, it was just Koo with the lucky kick. It was beyond that, Terry. On the field, we were punishing the Saints in some areas out there. So, Terry, your thoughts on the game Sunday, leading up to the game and after the game? Let's see if we can get T. Will in a little face here talking about these Saints, man.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a total team effort, right? So you got three phases, and you've got special teams, you got offense, you got defense. Our special teams played great. I mean, hey, even though the guy muffed the punt, you still got to be there to recover it in the end zone. You know what I mean? Just
big shout out to Cordell Hodge too as well, man.
Shout out to him, definitely. Just because he fumbled it doesn't mean we're going to fall on it. Doesn't mean we're going to get to it. So
he's a gunner. Now we go back, Terry. Don't want to cut you off. Now we go back to the preseason. We go back to training camp. We go back to building the 53, and why Hodge was there, and why Hodge is still there. Don't forget, he was here with Arthur Smith too as well. So Cordell Hodge, he's played special teams well throughout his career. He did get a chance to get a couple catches with Arthur Smith too as well. But now with Raheem Morris, to be there on time, to be there at that point where the ball is muffed and it falls in the end zone and the special teams recovers, that shows big team camaraderie from that special teams unit. But you got it, Terry.
Yeah, no worries. So again, you still have to be there to take advantage of it, right? Just because they make mistakes doesn't mean that you're going to take advantage of it. We did there. We recovered the fumble. We got it in the end zone. That's an automatic touchdown right there, right? So that was special teams. Special teams was great. On defense, we got a turnover. Looks like Judon put that big mid up there.
Sure did.
Pop up in the air. Troy Anderson was there to catch it, and Who knew he could shake and bake?
4-4-2. 4-4-2, man.
Hey, man. Who knew? Hey, hold up, hold
Troy
up.
Anderson looked like me running the 40. I
Hey,
swear it gave me flashbacks of me.
imagine there's some chicken in here, man. Shake and bake.
Shit.
Shake and bake. Hey, who knew he had that trunk? I didn't know Troy could do it like that, man. Troy out there breaking ankles.
Yeah, man.
Just saying. So, there was the there was the defensive turnover. And shout out to Jimmy Lake and Raheem for making adjustments in the second half, and we really stopped that running game. Now, did it help us that number 7 got hurt? Yes, it did. I'm not gonna say it didn't. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. But even still, with that, we were able to really slow them down in the second half and make great adjustments. So I think it was great. And look, the offense did just enough to get us where we needed to be. And some games it's going to be like that. Could there have been a better offensive effort? Yes, most assuredly. But in the end, when we needed 3 points, they were there. They got enough yards to where Koo could kick it through, and we won the game. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So those are my thoughts. Jack, what are yours?
Trying to get this up right here. I don't know what's going on, but Falcon fans, it was great to see the Falcons come away with a win. Now I know people are talking about Kyle Pitts and the production Kyle Pitts have had this season so far in the first 4 games. But on the positive side of things, you came away with the wins. I saw Kyle Pitts post, team win on his IG too as well. So I'm sure he's not upset about it at all. But he's going to get those targets, right? He's going to be here, I think, for quite some time too as well. A couple of Falcon fans are kind of saying like they want to get Pitts up out of here before the trade deadline. But I do see Pitts being a major part of this offense going forward. It's just kind of upsetting that he couldn't get the ball Sunday. But for Falcon fans that were there at the game, I must say, man, from the beginning of the game, Terry, fans out there tailgating, even from the MARTA, you can see the fans that were posting the videos of the Falcons Saints out there going back and forth on the train. Getting to the stadium on time, like as soon as the gates opened, like the stadium was packed, man, from the moment that the gates had opened, bro. So big shout out to all the fans that got to their seats on time. The big shout out to the Dirty Bird Nest too as well. Big shout out to Big Tigger, man. They had that stadium rocking. 200 level was rocking. 300 level was rocking. And I ain't talking about the fights, Terry. I'm not talking about the fights. Now I know some people probably saw that there's some viral videos going on out there, some fights that happened in the 300 level at the game with some Falcon and some Saints fans. But that's what happens when you have a rivalry between some of these teams. I saw some other games this weekend that had some fights too as well. Unacceptable when you come to these games and fight, especially the way that they were fighting too as well. Terry, they were fighting to the day. They were fighting harder than the Falcons and the Saints from the videos that I saw. But overall, I must say the fans talking to Chef Matt too as well. Big shout out to Michael Turner. Got a chance to chop it up with him too as well. Man, everything about the entire game was just made for Falcon fans, right? Up until that last minute when the Saints scored and then we had the ball and then we had to get down the field and kick the field goal. But Terry, I must say defensively, we've been playing well this season. Offensively, I still think we haven't found our identity yet.
No.
And that's big going for the second part of the season now because you have these division games. Of course, you just won one against the Saints. You have another one Thursday against the Bucs. You have another one coming up next week against the Panthers. I do think there is a win streak somewhere in this schedule, and it's possible that it could be starting up here Thursday night by beating the Bucs.
Right? Why not?
2-game win streak going up against the Panthers next week in Carolina, who right now, I think personally, even with the Jaguars being 0-4, I think the Panthers are probably the worst team in the league. But you have a Falcons team that can get their identity together going forward because I must say, Terry, you have a team that played last night on Monday Night Football that's going to come here in Atlanta in a couple of weeks that may put up some yards, and you're going to have to play some defense against Seattle. I'll tell you right now, like you can see Seattle. I mean, Geno Smith almost threw that ball 60 times last night. So for our defense, we got to be on point. with some of these teams we play against. So not every game is an easy win, but I do think there is a win streak somewhere along the lines here for the Falcons. Terry, Kirk Cousins. Quickly, let's go to you about his performance on Sunday. What did you think about Kirk?
Um, he made some throws. He missed some throws. That interception, I didn't know if the receiver fell down or if he just didn't see the guy. But I mean, all in all, if I had to rate his performance, I guess I'd give him a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think where we need to really be better is third down.
Mm-hmm.
Third and our third down conversion rate. Because again, in 4 games now, the time of possession is 35 them, 24 us, or 25.
It's kind of concerning to see that too as well. That these past 4 games, teams have been controlling the clock more than you. But then again, you're 2-2, so I'm not upset about it.
Oh yeah,
but you get that offense in more rhythm, and you do convert those third downs, and you do keep pushing the chains. That time of possession is going to be looking a little bit different there when you're playing against some of these teams coming up. But yeah, Terry, you got it, brother.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, if I'm Zach Robinson, my goal this week is, look, guys, let's do 30 and 30, right? Let's at least hold the ball for 30 minutes. Let's make them, because guess what? Our defense is better if it plays 30 minutes. Our defense is even better if it plays 25 minutes, because you don't get guys tired, right? And not that they were tired. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you can help it, you want to win the time of possession, especially with somebody with a good offense, right? So, and I would say the Bucs have a decent offense. So if we can win the time of possession or at least split it, I like our chances. Now, with that being said, there's not a team out there that I fear, because I think our defense can take it to the max with anybody. There's nobody in this league that
And you're saying that with a defense that they're still bottom in the league in sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still able to get teams off the field at points where even Kansas City had their back against the wall.
Yeah.
Even the Steelers had their back against the wall. You lost the Steeler game by what? A touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
You lost the Chiefs game by what? Less than a touchdown?
Yep. 5 points.
You won the Eagles game coming back in the minute 24, show some identity there. Yep. And then you just beat the Saints game, where in that second half, you kind of dominated them up until that point where they scored. Mm-hmm. And then you had to go down the field. And this is where I was a little concerned at. And Falcon fans agree or disagree. And I don't know who's probably going to answer this. I'm not upset, but I'm just saying, I'm just a little concerned at that point when I was watching in the game. Who was calling the touchdown when you're 58 yards out for Koo? His longest is 54. You had already got the pass interference. It was like 20-something seconds left on the clock. Mm-hmm. No timeouts, and you're trying to score. You wasn't setting up for the runs to set up for Koo to take a shorter kick. You actually, on the first 2 plays, if I'm not mistaken, you tried to score. One was almost picked off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that one that he was short on, I mean, it's there, right?
Yeah.
That one to Mooney, if that throws there, it's touchdown. So sometimes you got to take what they give you. I think
Mooney is money, man. What can I say? Mooney is money.
Mooney is money, and I felt like he would be, right? I mean, you could argue he's been the best receiver on the field.
Yeah,
you could argue that he and Ray.
Him and Ray. Now, let me tell you something. Drake been going hard too now.
Yeah,
Drake. This is where that 3,000-4,000 yard season we talked about with Kurt. This how that shit gets there. These little pick apart games where Ray gets like 60 something here. What's we call it? London gets like 70 here. The other one gets like what? 40 something, 50 something here. But they're making spectacular catches. But you know, at the end of the season, you're gonna have Ray around like 900, right? You're gonna have like your boy Drake around like 1,000. And this kind of looks at Kyle Pitts like, can Pitts get 1,000? His numbers have not been the greatest, but he's playing a different role too as well from what he's doing out there. He's blocking a lot more too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna ask this, and I'm certainly not trying to upset anyone in the chat. It has to be asked. We're in what? Year 4, year 5 of Kyle? Is this year 5?
Don't do it, Terry.
Is it time that we talk? maybe we trade Kyle because there's a guy in Las Vegas that's available.
If
That,
you if
that
you was to some way somehow, you can see it on the screen right here. Raiders asking for about 2 for Adams. What are the Raiders trying to really get for this guy? Right? Is it true that he's not going to be there? Now I say this: if he doesn't get traded before Sunday and he sits out Sunday, oh, they're trading this guy. It's about to happen. But if he gets out there and he plays Sunday, then it's possible. And if they win, then it's possible that he might not be available. But I think with a coach like Raheem and with a general manager like Terry, and with the moves that they've done this offseason, Terry, and how they work behind the scenes and how we've found out shit weeks later, I would not sit here. I'm gonna sit here and say I think they probably would make the call to Oakland. I mean to the Raiders and say what's going on with Adams, right? I've seen the identity of this front office a little bit and that coaching staff to where they're not scared to go call the Raiders and see what they want for Adams. In the past, I can say, nah, we're not. That ain't us. Nah, we're not doing it. That's in the past, not this Falcons team. Now it's like, nah, they probably would call and see what they want for Adams.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
What? With Kirk Cousins and Penix too?
In a heartbeat. It wouldn't even an afterthought.
I will say the crazy part is you add him to a team now. If he was, let's just say he ended up as a Falcon, Drake London and Adams, who's your 1 and 2? The way Mooney's been playing, like Mooney's the goddamn one. This is great to see that you have an offense.
If Devontae Adams comes here, he's number 1, sir.
He's the number 1, sir.
I'm just saying. He might even have to give up that number 1, sir. He's number 1. And you know what? If I'm Mooney, here you go. Here you go. Okay?
Mid-season too. After the jersey sales and everything, just take the jersey.
Hey, you rip that shirt open, it's an S on that chest.
Look. Before we even get to the Devontae Adams talk, let's go back to Falcons Saints talk. How crazy the Benz was, how electric the Benz was. Everybody was just energized from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. Blood pressure boiling moment at the fourth quarter when the Saints scored. Terry, when the Saints did score, and we got the ball back with a minute left to go, did that Philadelphia moment get to you where it's like, we can get in position? Don't forget, we needed a touchdown in Philly. This one over here, we just needed a field goal. It was only like, 40 some yards to get Koo in range. How were you feeling at that moment, Terry?
I didn't feel bad because, again, I know we have a quarterback. I know we have receivers that can get down the field, and I knew it was possible, right?
Yeah.
And no disrespect to any Falcons personnel ever, but that was the first time in 3 years I felt that way. I'll just put it that way. Okay, I'm not calling anybody out, but when that happened, I felt like we definitely have the tools. It's like you say, it's not like we had to score a touchdown, right? We just got to go 40 yards, 30 yards, from the 30 to the 30, 40 yards. And I felt like that was doable, right? So I was a little concerned because to me, the Saints have a little bit better defense than the Eagles. They or I don't know if it's rivalry.
From what I've seen the first 3 games this season, even with the loss against the Eagles, yes, they did have a stand-up style. Yeah, they did have a stand-up defense.
So I was a little concerned about that, but it was not trepidation. It was not, oh gosh, oh God, we don't have it. It wasn't, let me put it this way. It was not the way I feel about the Braves going into San Diego tonight.
Let's go. Big shout out to the Braves too as well, man. Braves playoffs, man. Let's go. Atlanta United, you still got a shot. Atlanta United, you got to get that dub tomorrow. But the Braves, we ain't gonna talk about the damn dogs. We ain't gonna talk about the dogs, but the Braves.
But the Braves tonight, man, that's a wing and a prayer. That's a whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. That's living on a prayer. That's not so. That's living on a prayer. And I didn't feel that way because I felt like, look, we got the personnel. We got Mooney. We got Kyle. We got Drake. You know what I mean? We got Ray. Let's do this. How did you feel? Let me put it that way.
I will tell you that being in Philly, the time where we came back a couple weeks ago and got the win, that moment hit me again where it's like, I think we can do this with Kirk. My thing was, like you mentioned with that Saints defense, and of course the couple interceptions that we've seen from Kirk this season, just don't throw that shit into double or triple coverage.
Right.
right? And this is the moment where it can possibly happen because you're not going to run the ball. They're going to pass the ball. So now your defenders, now the other team is looking like, bro, they're finna pass. They're about to pass. Now they're doing their damn adjustments on the field, like get ready for this shit. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 6, whatever it was getting ready to run.
Right.
It was always trying to make sure that they was trying to disguise and go up against Kirk. But that pass to Mooney on the sideline, the pass interference one, big shout out to that ref for being there, for noticing that this is pass interference.
Amen.
They missed a couple early in the game when it was like, what? They missed the fucking offsides one too as well when Cam jumped off the line, and then Storm moves, and then they call the false start on Storm when they went back and showed the instant replay, and Cam jumps off the line.
Yep, clearly.
And then Storm moves.
Clearly.
And then they call the false start on Storm. And I'm sitting over the whole stadium, even the Saints fans like, shit, I don't know, bro. And big shout out to the Saints fans that was around me too as well. Danny Glover, little brother. I don't know, man.
I saw him.
Let me tell you something. The Saints fans, first quarter, second quarter, talking all that shit. I'm telling you, man. That's why I'm telling Falcon fans, if you want to go to a game, home or away, go to the Falcons Saints game. Like, it's just a whole nother breed of just fans, just how they talk to each other, how they trash talk to each other. Like, even after the game, Saints fans were getting back to the buses, heads down. They couldn't believe they lost to Atlanta. It's a new team, Terry. Mm-hmm. It's a new season. It's a new year. This is not the team that they saw last year. Don't forget, they stomped us last year in that final game.
Oh, they did.
So they were coming back to the Benz like, oh, we finna go ahead and take it. You should have heard them talking in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Should have heard them talking in the second quarter around me. Mm-hmm. Third and fourth was a little bit different. I remember when it was 17-13. I went to get a drink, came back. Danny Glover, brother, I don't know where he went. Was it anybody seen Gumbo? Kept calling him Gumbo. Anybody seen Gumbo? He didn't want no smoke. Then they had a bunch of Falcon fans around us. Terry, we was over. You know how we were, man. Out down on the field, man. Mm-hmm. But big shout out to all the Falcon fans that was in the building, man. It was, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. You know, one time for the fan is all about the fans. Mm-hmm. From the fan for the fan. But to see y'all loud as shit, standing up, first down, second down, third down, bro. There was some times where they had to get the Saints off the field on third down. And before Liam and the other players can get on the bench and get the crowd ready, bro, the fans were just like, no, we got you. Mm-hmm. You felt that energy in the stadium where it's like, bro, if we go out there and we beat Tampa on Thursday, go and beat Carolina next week, really hold a stake in the division and come back against Seattle, bro, you're talking about a hostile environment for the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. They're coming in here playing the first place Falcons. Mm-hmm. This streak is going to happen somewhere along the line. Adams seeing that he wants out in Raiders in Las Vegas. Don't forget, Terry. We play the fucking Raiders in December.
Yeah, we do.
I need that dub. Yeah, send him to Buffalo. Send him to a team that we're not playing until 2029.
Shit, send him here.
Well, if you want to.
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
I'm not for the just trade Kyle Pitts thing right now. I think it's not. The Falcons don't really have the identity on offense yet. To just say that Kyle Pitts, it was going to be the superstar with Kurt in the first 4 weeks. I think if you give Kyle up until the Seattle game, I think the Carolina game is really going to be his go-off game. I'm going to call it. I think Carolina, he gets about 2-3 touchdowns. Carolina is just piss poor right now. They are horrible.
Carolina's a trap game, man.
They are I don't really want to call it a trap game with Kurt and this team. Not in this defense. Nope. And not this trap game. No. A trap game for us is the Chargers. Trap game for us this year would be the Washington Commanders. That's a trap game.
Chargers went toe-to-toe with Kansas City. Chargers are a decent team.
Yeah, Carolina going to be in that team.
Yeah. What's the name's up there? Balling.
And the strength of schedule, like we talked about, Terry, is not the same like it was before the season where they said the Falcons have the easiest strength of schedule. Not no more. They got a 3-1 Seattle team they got to play in a couple weeks. Right? Tampa Bay Thursday night is going to be tough too as well. Right? Look at Washington with Jaden Daniels. I mean, they
Yeah,
got
he's
some
been
teams
balling.
they got to play this year. It's like they're getting after it.
Honestly, I do not think we have the easiest schedule, and that's why you can't go by the previous year.
Mm-mm.
You can't go because you have different coaching staffs a lot of times. You have different players. You cannot go by like honestly, I think we have our schedule is very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Washington is playing great right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, San Diego they stood toe to toe with Kansas.
LA. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The Commanders are decent, bro. And honestly, I mean, Tampa Bay is a good team. So, the news pundits thought that the NFC South would be poo-poo platter, and it's not. You have three very decent teams there that can do some damage. So, I don't what I'm saying is I'm not saying our schedule is a murderer's row, but it's not kitty litter, dude. It's not just oh, we're just gonna stumble out here and walk up on 11, 12 games. No, we gotta earn it. We gotta go get it. We gotta go get it.
A lot of fans in the chat calling for Devontae Adams. I'm sure, like I said, Raheem and this coaching staff and this organization, this front office, I can see them as one of the teams to pick up the phone and make the call just to see what's going on with Mr. Adams. But you never know in this NFL what could happen. But Falcon fans just looking ahead. Bucs Thursday night just got a big win over the Saints. This is how you can really take a lead in the division. You got the world watching again. Now you had the Monday night football game against Philly, came away with a win. You had the Sunday night football game against the Chiefs, came away with a loss. That should have been a win. And I think a lot of people that was watching that game agree due to the referees.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have another game quickly back to back where you have a Thursday night primetime game where the world can see. And the Bucs, who we just saw the Eagles beat the Saints last week, go into Tampa and we thinking, oh shit, this is it. Eagles can get back in rhythm. And that's not the case. That Tampa team that just lost to to Denver the week before, went back against Philly the week after, who just beat the Saints and beat Philly. So
Mm-hmm.
any week, anything can happen, Falcon fans.
Sunday.
Any given Sunday, but I think it's any given Thursday this week. Falcons need to come out there, Terry, as we just talk quickly about the Thursday night game. We do have our Wednesday night podcast tomorrow night, 8:00. But what is it going to take to beat the Bucs on Thursday night? I mean, Baker Mayfield, that offense, they have one of the quickest releases in the NFL. And they're scoring pretty quick, man. They're moving the ball down the field, I must say. So defense has to be prepared for what Baker Mayfield and that offense can do, Terry.
You're gonna have to be able to run the ball, man. Best way to combat a very good offense is to keep them off the field, right? Because guess what? If they're not on the field, they can't score. So, look, your goal, if you're the offense of the beloved Atlanta Falcons, let's keep that ball for 30, 35 minutes, right? Let's score early and often. Let's not turn over the ball on defense. Let's do what we do, man. Let's continue to do what we've done. Let's get 2 or 3 sacks. Let's get 2 or 3 turnovers. Let's go win this thing. And it's perfectly doable. We may have to blitz a little more. Raheem doesn't like blitz. I noticed that. He does not
a
like
lot of zone, man. It's like 99% zone. And I was talking with Country earlier. You might have to shift into playing some man more. Right? You played it for the first 4 weeks. You guys have what? You're 29th, 30th in sacks.
But we're winning.
That is
I don't
you're 2-2.
Yeah.
Not just let's say like we're winning, like we're 4-0 here. But there were some situations where you had some sacks on the field and you left them on the field.
You could say that, but here's the thing, right? I think
1 sack Sunday just for D. Alford, Terry.
I think this unit is going to get better.
Oh, I definitely think this unit's going to be better. But don't forget, what? Is there you got aints flying around the house now?
No, I got gnats, man.
Got the aints fans flying around the house?
Yeah, I did. You know what? I missed it. My bad. Yep. Get out of here, chumps. No, but in all seriousness, we could have been 4-0. We could have been 0-4.
We could have been. We truly could have been. This is not a team that's been defeated for those past 2 games that we lost. We didn't get smacked up.
Right. Nobody came in here and was like, sit down, you little. Nobody did that, right? Nobody came in here and was like, hey, man, we're going to come in here. We're going to kick your ass all day. And there's 2 things you can do about it. Nothing and like it. That didn't happen.
Kansas City. We played Kansas City's game.
Yes,
we played them well.
Yes, we did. So again, um, we're okay. I think you probably need to dial up the blitzes a little more. When I say that, I mean when you send five guys, right? Whoever that is, whether that's Caden Ellis, whether that's whoever, whether you run stunts, you're probably gonna have to do that a little more. In the same game, he did it on the last possession when we had to get that ball back. That's when he sent Diop
Judon.
and Judon, right?
Yeah, Judon was there for the tip pass, which went up to Troy Anderson on that pass rush. But then I think second half they played more Judon in like coverage, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, too. I had to go back and watch more of that. But I mean, Troy Anderson, I don't know how banged up he's going to be. I mean, we did hear the comments from Raheem.
I think because they signed Rashawn Evans,
Rashawn
right?
Evans, big shout to Rashawn Evans. He's back in the building too as well. Two former Falcons recently are back in the building that was playing here a couple years ago. Now they're back. Elijah Wilkinson, who stepped in Sunday. Big shout to Elijah for filling in on Sunday. And then, of course, you had Rashawn Evans now, who's here in Atlanta, who will possibly be playing Thursday or next week against the Carolina Panthers due to the injury with Troy Anderson. Terry. Man, this feels good, man. A big win over the Saints.
Yeah.
You got the Bucs Thursday night. You got the Panthers next week. We talked about it here on One Time for the Fan. If you were 4-0, 3-1, 2-2, or 0-4 going into this Bucs game, I think Falcon fans should feel good about a 2-2 team that has a chance to fight for the division on Thursday. Right? You're not playing a 4-0 Bucs team. Right? You're playing a team that has been beat before. And then look at the NFL too as well, Falcon fans. For those that's complaining about, Kirk Cousins and what he's been doing offensively. Did you see the Titans game last night? Titans-Dolphins?
Oh God. Oh God. That was awful.
If I'm not mistaken, not one quarterback threw for 100 yards.
If that, that was awful.
There are quarterbacks out here, Falcon fans, that are winning games they're not even throwing for 100 yards. It's a team game. That's why sometimes we can rely on our defense. We can rely on our secondary. I understand Jesse Bates and Simmons are not leading the league in interceptions, or Grady Jarrett's not leading the league in sacks.
Well,
but we're 2-2. Go ahead, Terry.
About that, they're probably not. You're not getting as many deep balls thrown against them.
That's true.
Byproduct.
You're running that coverage where you're not playing. You do not. It's no fly zone back here.
Not gonna do that.
That shit better be in front of us because there's no fly zone back here. And I'm waiting to see a team that's going to throw 40, 50, 60 yards on us on certain plays. I don't see it happen.
We're gonna see what Tampa does.
Yeah. Tampa's still going to throw it short. I mean, they got receivers that can stretch the field. I think Seattle is the team that's going to take the shot. Seeing what Geno doing last night was like, this joker's going to stand in the pocket all goddamn game.
And I honestly think if they do that, we'll come away with 3. You throw that ball 60 times, we're going to bring it back the other way 3 times.
Yeah.
And
a couple sacks too as well. Because I saw last night, he was just blindsided by a couple sacks, but he was just focusing on the receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
So do that against us. So
it's good to see Detroit come away with a window over their team. But don't forget, Falcon fans, the Vikings are 4-0. The Vikings are 4-0.
You got to go play them in Minnesota. So again, this schedule is not the cream puff cupcake schedule that it was described as earlier.
Broncos beat the Bucs. Broncos go out there and beat the Jets, and Bo Nix throws for what? 10 yards? Falcon fans, don't trip on Kurt right now on the team. Let them get their identity together. There are NFL fans that have to watch their quarterback go 8 for 16 for 34 yards with a win. That's tough. That's pretty tough.
That's grueling. That is grueling.
Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Quick pop-up podcast for you all tonight. Terry, we're back tomorrow night. One Time for the Fan, 8 p.m., talking Falcons football. Big shout out to Michael Turner. Got a chance to chop it up with him too as well. And of course, we were hanging out, having a good time at the game. So we were getting ready to do the podcast, and with everything that was happening, down on the field, talking with the fans, and just everybody. It's a vibe when you're down there with the fans, right? We didn't get a chance to do it, but we are setting up for a podcast. Terry, you saw we was on the IG one time for the fan. You got to follow the one time for the fan Instagram, Falcon fans.
Yeah, you do.
Get a chance to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens at the game too as well. So this is going to be great going forward with Thursday night game next week, Carolina. Then the week after we come back, we got Seattle. Then we're off to Tampa. Then we got those Saints again. Terry, how you feeling, man? Right now at 2-2, how you feeling?
I feel good, Jack, and I feel good for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think our offense is on the come. I think it's going to get better. It's just, again, we did not have a preseason, and you got to look at it that way, right? These guys have really not had time to gel. This is our preseason now. I know it's game 4. And the other thing is, man, this was a total team effort. Like, I think the team has bought in. You know what I mean? On special teams, on defense. Look, there are no sacred cows. There are no sacred units. Let's all get out there. Let's all pull our weight. Let's all make an impact. And we're doing that now. And you can see it. And no, we don't have we don't have sacks. Yes, sacks are sexy. They are. They are big sexy, man. They are.
Same for touchdowns too.
Hey, man, I was magna cum laude in my class. But at the end of the day, can you go out in the real world and do the job? And that's what our defense is doing. Look, you win if you score more points than they do. We could be 4-0. We're 2-2. We're getting better. Let's go. I feel good about this defense. I feel good about the special teams, and I think the offense will be on the come. Something that no one is talking about is, why are we running so many plays in the pistol? Why have we not seen Kirk do a waggle? And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to be done about it, because we can get into it tomorrow night. But look, man, I don't know anybody that came back under a year and was truly effective from an Achilles injury. Yeah, he's back, but it's been 7-8 months. Okay. I've seen guys tear Achilles. I know about that life. I know what it takes to rehab. And I'm telling you, he's not 100% back. He might be 80%, right? But you see him in the pistol for a reason. That's all I'm going to say. And guess what? As the year progresses and as the months go by, you'll probably see Kirk get better and better and better. And that's it. That's all I got.
Kirk Cousins, 15th right now in the league in passing, 864 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 43 rating QBR. But you have some games coming up here where I think, you can get the ball down the field. You can stretch the field. They're doing enough, I think, offensively passing and running the ball to move the chains.
Mm-hmm.
And that's putting them in a position to where they're not getting beat up by some of these teams, where Kansas City is not out to a 30-0 lead like what Alabama did to Georgia the other day.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to mention that. But even when we played Pittsburgh, they didn't jump out to a 20-0 lead. Mm-hmm. Philly didn't jump out to a 35-7 lead.
They did not.
These games have been close. So even where you look at the Chiefs game, even when you look at the Steelers game, Terry said it, we could truly be 4-0 right now. A lot of those players in that locker room believe that they could be 4-0 right now if it wasn't for those stupid ass calls against the Chiefs. And of course, if it wasn't for that Pittsburgh Steeler nonsense and the last 2 drives. But they can truly be 4-0. Or even at best, or even 3-1.
No,
but 2-2, I think Falcon fans should be cool with. But Kirk Cousins, yeah, man. Right now in the first 4 games of the season, I'm saying I don't know the Falcons have their identity on offense just yet, but so far, I think Kirk is doing a decent job as our quarterback right now.
Yeah, Jack, I didn't mean to allude to the fact that he wasn't. I'm just saying I don't think Kirk is 100% healthy.
Oh yeah,
and I think he will be. I think he will be resoundingly better by the end of the year. I think a part of this is the reason why Kirk wanted to play in the preseason, right? And I'm not saying for or against, because I can see the pros and cons on both sides, right? Heaven help you throw Kirk out there the first preseason game and something happens. Heaven help you. So I get it. But I'm just saying that if you look at the formations and the plays that we're running, you've not seen one waggle. And Kirk does that play, right? So again, you know, as Kirk gets his timing down, as Kirk gets better, as that leg gets stronger, you will probably see that playbook open up a little more, right? So I'm saying this to say that's reason to feel good about this team because we're winning, and I don't think Kirk's at 100%. And as Kirk's gets better, I think we will win because we got a great defense, because we got great special teams. The offense is just a plus. I think we're going to get better, guys. That's all I'm saying. So,
Falcon
not,
fans, we'll be back
yep,
tomorrow night, 8 p.m., talking Falcons football, talking Falcons Saints, because we're still on victory week, right? We're still feeling good over here. So we'll talk a little bit more about Falcons. Aints go into a little bit more of the stats. You can see here, Bijan Robinson, of course, he was battling an injury too as well
yep.
going into the game. But Tyler Algier, man, um,
You think we need to see more, Tyler? Do you
we
think?
definitely need to see more of Tyler. And that's the thing about having these, two-headed monsters at running back. That's what happened in Dallas a couple of years ago with Zeke and the other guy. And they
Yeah,
had to make a decision on who they wanted, and they chose the other guy, and then Zeke had to go ahead and split ways. I don't want that here in Atlanta where, this 1-2 combo can really do something in the next couple of years with Raheem,
yeah,
right? There's going to be a lot of situations for Tyler, a heavy increased role already that you can see for Bijan. And who knows if they in the next couple of years or however they might add a third running back to this. But we haven't even got a chance to see Jace really, right?
yeah.
I think when you get in rhythm, Terry, when you get around that Buccaneers game for my birthday weekend, the 26th, or even if you get around that
Scorpio.
Cowboys game November, I think it's November or December 3rd,
Love it.
you should probably start bringing in Jace, or start activating a little, Avery Williams a little bit more into the backfield, because at that point, if you're winning the division and if you have that stretch, if you're outrunning the South, you don't want to put too much work on Bijan and Tyler around the midpoint of the season, right? Because you want these guys to be healthy.
That's
You
a
know what I'm saying? You
point.
need them healthy. And in the first couple weeks of the season, Bijan's already banged up.
Well, and you know what? I agree with you 100%, Jack. But I don't know that Zach Robinson feels that way.
Yeah. He's like,
At,
use him more. Get him out there. 50
at, at
carries on Thursday.
at the beginning of the season, he was like, "No, we're going to use him like
Christian
CMC."
McCaffrey. Yeah.
Right. And I'm with you. I've been with you the entire time. If I had a star running back now, that I would not use him that way because you want to keep this guy for 5 years. You want him to be productive 5 years. You don't want to wear him out, right? You want him to be just as effective in year 5 as he was in year 1, and that's what happened to Zeke. That is exactly what happened to Zeke. Zeke was fired the first couple of years, but they ran him and ran him and ran him. And look, running backs, I don't care what you say, man. They have an expiration date. All of them do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Understand, playing running back in the NFL is akin to literally every time you run the ball being in a small accident. Just think about that for a second, right? Unless you're Derrick Henry, who is a behemoth. If you don't know, Derrick Henry's like what, 6'8"? Cock diesel?
Last time I checked, he was like 7'4".
Yeah. You said what?
Like 7'4", like 290.
No, I
No, I'm just playing. He's a
yeah.
beast, man. He's a beast, man. Especially with the shoulder pads on. That Joker's a beast, man.
Hey man. Hey. And unless you're that, right? Look, I think it's wise to split time. I'd like to see a 3-back system, or at least, a more equivalent dispersal of the ball when it comes to running the ball. But you know what, Jack? We can get into that tomorrow.
Right
Uh,
now, it's the first 4 games of the season.
yep.
We're 2-2. Falcon fans should feel good. You play for the division on Thursday.
Mhm.
This team has been playing good enough. Big shout out to the Braves. They're getting ready to make their way out there.
Yep.
But the team has
Okay.
been playing so good this far. I know we're sitting at 2-2, but they've been playing this good this far to where you shouldn't be worried about the matchup Thursday against the Bucs.
Mhm.
I think defensively and offensively, if you keep the Bucs within 20 points, you still have a chance to win the game, because this Falcons offense, they're around that mark of getting close. They're going to be putting up 20 points or more easily in the next couple of weeks, I think. I think they're going to find their identity. They're going to find their chemistry. It's going to gel. Right now, just hasn't really worked out the first 4 games. But Tampa, Carolina, who else? Seattle, then Tampa, then New Orleans. This is a chance to really outrun the South. Terry, I'm feeling good about it, man. I'm about to go drink some more. Watch this Braves game. I'm feeling it, man. This is victory week. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good. This Thursday night game is going to be here in 2 days. We got another podcast tomorrow night. Chef Matt. I know we're going to get Chef Matt back on the podcast here soon. I don't know if the Mercedes-Benz announced it, but Chef Matt announced it. The new area that they're going to have at the stadium soon. Chef Matt, of course, you know what he did with Molly B's too as well, and what he's also been working on at the stadium. He's going to be able to stop by the podcast and talk with us about what is happening at the Mercedes-Benz, because every day they change something there at the stadium, right? You never know what to expect. So when fans come in there next year, right, you got all new activations and all new lounges and club areas on the 100 level. And then now going up to different areas in the stadium, 200 and 300, they got some more stuff going on. So we'll let Chef Matt come back here to the podcast to let us know what's going on. And our Chef's Corner with Chef's Matt. Carolina is the next game, the next away game. And there's a lot of Falcons fans going to Carolina. So, of course, you know, with our Chef's Corner, right, we want to make sure fans can enjoy some good food too as well. So Chef Matt's going to bring us a nice little recipe for everybody. You can make at your house in your own kitchen too as well, that you can enjoy when you watch that Falcons Carolina game, if you can't make it to the game. But it's going down in a major way. Terry?
Yes, sir.
Get to these shout-outs, man. We about here.
Yes, sir. Well, again, Jack, as always, brother, I got to thank you, my mentor, my friend. Thank God for you every day, man. Thank God for my brother, Eric Parker, wherever you are, sir.
EP.
Yeah, Eric sent me a smart-ass message during that Georgia Alabama game, and
Oh gosh,
I would expect nothing more from you, sir. Which is why we're gonna
I
kick.
think Eric's gonna get that message back this weekend when Auburn gets to smacking.
We're gonna kick your arse this weekend, Eric Parker.
Eric, if you're listening right now, we're gonna beat Auburn bad, bro.
Beat the snot out of you, okay? But I love you, bro. Just so you know, I love you. Hey man, want to thank God. Without him, would not be here. Thank him every day. Thank him for every opportunity. Especially want to thank him for waking me up this morning. I appreciate it. Thank you to the chat. Appreciate you guys. We do this for you. You guys make it fun. It's a lot of work that goes into this, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Obviously, I can be found at One Time for the Fan, where our shows are Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Friday morning. And I can be found at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Again, just dropped it in the chat. That is For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. I can be seen there Friday nights, Saturday afternoons, and typically Monday evenings for the Falcons recap. And with that said, Jack, I'm going to defer to you. As long as you keep inviting me, I'll keep coming back. Go right ahead, sir.
Hey, shout out to them Braves. Let's go get us a damn win tonight in San Diego.
Get it.
Big shout out to them Falcons. You guys went in there Sunday and handled business. Big shout out to the Falcon fans. If you're watching the game wherever you were, listen to the game wherever you were. I know you were screaming and cheering and getting loud just like we were in the Benz. So big shout out to all the Falcon fans worldwide. We all did it too as well this Sunday, beating the New Orleans Saints. Now we got the matchup against the Bucs Thursday. I'm sure our Falcons will be prepared for that. Shout out to T. Will. Shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Miss Carrie. Big shout out to the Rise Up Tour fan club. I honestly can't wait to drop this news for you all about what's going to happen real soon here with the Rise Up Tour fan club. Me and Thomas talk all the time, and we're always doing things to take it to the next level for the fans that travel on the road. And we always want to make sure everybody's having a good time. But I'm telling you, once this confirmation is confirmed, can't wait to tell you guys what's going on with the Rise Up Tour fan club. So thank you all for supporting the Rise Up Tour fan club. Thank you all for supporting One Time for the Fan. It's from the fan. It's for the fan. We want to make sure these Falcons can be the biggest fan base in the NFL. Right? We're going to get a Super Bowl one day. We're going to win that ring one day. We're going to be that team. right? But there's going to be a point we have to lead up to that. And one time for the fans going to be here every step of the way. Terry, tomorrow night we're back talking Falcons football. Siri thought I said her name. Siri, shut up. Terry, we're back tomorrow night talking Falcons football, 8 p.m. Friday morning, 9 a.m. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Sunday night, 8 p.m. We're back again talking Falcons football. So 3 shows lined up for you all. Probably another pop-up podcast too as well. And that's why they're pop-up podcasts. We can do them at any time. So big shout out to everybody who's here for the show tonight. All the other content creators too as well. Big shout out to you all. Continue being great, doing what you do. Carrie, Falcons fan, hit that like button, please, to support these awesome guys in the channel. Let's go Braves. Game starting now. Big game for our Falcons in 2 days. Georgia, Auburn this weekend. Atlanta United tomorrow. Hawks starting back up this month. It's going down in a major way. Atlanta, I'm telling y'all, man, this is the time to be proud of your city. And let's go out here and rep and continue to rep hard 24/7, man. One time for the fan. Terry, see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., sir.
Tomorrow night, sir. See you then.